Alright, so the first step is the hardest step, and this is the way I do it, because this is the entire subframe. This isn't just like the subframe, if you know what I mean by that. But I put it on this here motorcycle jack, right, by myself. Pretty difficult job. It's gonna suck, but there's a way to wiggle it on there. Then you're just gonna roll it under the car, and then begin to raise it up in line. This hole right here, this is the front of subframe. This is the front motor mount right here. Now there is no motor in this car, but I'll walk you through the steps of the actual mounting it to the motor too, and the steering and everything. But this guy is going to go in the frontmost giant hole right there, a really big one. So, and then the back hole is way back there. I'll show you guys that in a minute. Actually, I'll just show you right now. It's this guy right here. They're really big holes. If you have the bolts for your subframe, should be very obvious because there's only 2 holes facing downwards under the car. So just do that, and then once you slide it under, start raising it up and lining up with those holes. Alright guys, so clearly the subframe is under the car right now. I just wanted to make a quick note of this. See how I'm almost to the holes right here? Yeah, I'm almost to the holes, but I kind of want to make sure that I connect the steering back up, which is right here. If you don't know how to disconnect steering and connect it back properly, you're gonna have a problem. But I like to connect it back. I think the screw, personally, to me, is optional until you get the subframe all the way up. But it's in its slot right now, and it is perfectly lined up, so the steering wheel will not be off at all. And I'm just gonna put the screw back when the subframe is all the way up. So now you just raise the subframe all the way up. It's kind of a pain, but it should just go right in, like slide right on up there if you're doing it right. There's gonna be a couple of obstacles like hoses and stuff, and if you have a motor, then there's gonna be a motor. But I think this should be easier for you guys to see exactly how the subframe goes in with no motor in the car. Now I will have another video with me putting the subframe in when the motor gets here, but as of right now, this is without the motor, so it should give you a good example of what you see and what goes where. Alright guys, so I got 2 bolts in on the front. They're not all the way in, not even close to all the way in, but this is what they look like. They're the really long big ones. They are going to go on the front and back, front and all the way in the back, and then all the way on the front, then all the way in the back. The middle ones are going to be these slightly shorter ones, and then there's extra 2 little ones just like that. So it's 8 bolts. Hopefully you guys can see that. Yep. So I'm gonna put the 2 back ones in, and then put the 2 middle ones in, and raise her up the rest of the way. I'm just trying to make sure it's safe. As you can see here, the bolts are not all the way in. See right there? They're not all the way in, but they're threaded in. So then I'll raise it up, and then put the back ones in, and then put the middle ones in, and then tighten them down. Alright guys, I just wanted to give you a quick little tip on the middle bolts. The shorter ones, those are actually going to be, I forgot to tell you guys, this is going to be connected to this arm right here, and I just pump it up with a jack, like reasonably high to where it's pretty much in line with everything. So this little bushing area right here is in line, and then I just put the there you go, put the bolt right up in there, and then hit it with an impact for a second. Same with the other side. Just a quick little tip, it'll help you get that bolt in, because you really won't get it in with this. Hang on, you really won't get it in with it setting like hang on, let me show you. See how angled this is right now? It used to be straight like that, and now it's all the way down here. So you won't really get it in when it's sitting like this, and so just jack it up with a jack. Should be pretty simple. So now that the heavy lifting is done, I want to show you what we've gone through up close with a flashlight. You know, everything's really dirty, not clean yet, but the subframe is in, as you guys can see down here. The subframe, it looks really weird without a motor. Wow. So the subframe is in the subframe itself is in all the way. Now next is connecting everything to the suspension. Already connected the steering. Then I'll teach you how to do motor mounts, even though there's no motor in here. And that should wrap it up. So I wanted to show you a little bit what was going on, what was I doing under here. They're all going to be 17 millimeters. This is going to be a really long one right here. This is the first one. Then you go a little bit back and connecting the A arm right here is going to be another 17 millimeter. This is going to be the shorter length one. And then you go all the way to the back, and then that is going to be your third 17 millimeter, which is going to be a really long one. Same on this side. 1, 2, and all the way in the back there. And then that is main things that are holding up your subframe. Now there's also one more. These are gonna be 7 and 8 right here, right up in this little crevice right here. You're gonna notice that it's a really small one actually. It's also a 17 millimeter, I believe, and it's gonna go right into this hole. Same on the other side, connecting directly to the highest part of your chassis. All right, so next step is going to be connecting up the suspension and then connecting up the brakes pretty much. So what's gonna happen here is these two guys are gonna go in here, and I'm gonna use the exact same trick with the jack down here, and I've already done it on this side so I can show you guys what it looks like. See that? This bolt goes in here, this bolt goes in here, and then we're gonna connect the brakes up in a second. Alright guys, so I have everything connected, everything tightened down, including that little bolt up in there, right there, yeah. Subframe is completely tightened down, this side's tightened down. Now this is where the brake line's gonna screw into, right there is where the brake line is gonna screw into. Then your caliper's gonna come around here, set right on there, and then just go right in. So, same with the other side over here. Got this side almost bolted down. I didn't bolt down this side yet because I wanted to make sure everything's perfect with the suspension, but brake caliper, that screw right there, as you can see, this is just going to go right on there, right in that hole, and then the caliper's going to come right around, set right there. So after that, we are pretty much done. I'm just going to move some wiring around, and then I'll teach you how to put the motor mount on. Alright guys, so I got everything connected up front, steering is in place, and I just went ahead and put this bolt in. I haven't tightened it yet all the way, I just hand tightened it, but I just wanted to show you exactly where it is. It's a really pain in the butt to get to, but alright, so you're gonna go right behind your, alright, so you got gas, brake, clutch, right? So you're gonna go right behind your brake pedal to this little plastic piece right here. Alright, so you're gonna go under this plastic piece, you're gonna pop it up. I'm trying to do this while holding a flashlight because it's really dark in here. Kind of difficult to do. So, see that right there, that little 10 millimeter? That is your steering bolt. So I just put it in there. Everything's lined up, and you can also find it by seeing that like little, your steering column right there, which is going up to your steering wheel. But yeah, just pull this guy up, tighten that guy down, make sure it's in line. Now when you pull your subframe out, I like to mark it with a little red marker to make sure it's perfect. So other than that, it's lined up perfectly. So now I just have to tighten that guy, put wheels and tires on, and then we should be ready to roll. Yeah, just roll though. Roll, physically roll, not drive. Alright, so I just thought I'd show you really quick that still don't have the wheels and tires on because I was putting this new Hasport motor mount in. This is the rear motor mount, by the way, and here's how you tell. It says top on it, right? Exact same as the old one, just stronger. So this is the top, right? That means it goes up. And then what I did was I just pulled the old one out. There's gonna be a, I believe, 19 on the bottom, and then this is like built in or welded on, whatever you want to call it. And then you're pretty much just gonna back that guy out, and then I just rubber malleted this in. Malleted? Yeah. And then put the bolt back in, and now she's on, ready for the motor. Alright guys, so I got the wheels and tires back on. I went ahead and zip tied with industrial size zip ties the axles up in the air, so when I roll it out it won't be just free hanging there. So the axles will be able to spin without rubbing on anything but this little zip tie. So wheels are on. I'm not going to put the bumper on right now because I feel like that's not necessary because I'm just going to be taking this whole thing back apart in about a week. But there's your little tutorial on how to put a subframe in a Civic Si. So if you have any questions, go down in the comments below. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything really quick. Alright, one last thing. The steering. So here's your electronic steering, right? The wires come all the way across the subframe into these 2 giant plugs, which are accompanied by these 4 giant plugs. So, well, actually, these are technically 4 too. Sorry, my bad. I missed 2. But these 4 plug into these 4, and this is the little harness. This is the little harness form right here. So those guys are gonna plug back in, and then I would plug the axles back in, pop the axles back in, but there's no motor here, so that's not a good situation. That concludes today's video on how to put a subframe in a 2006 through 2011 Honda Civic Si. Thanks for stopping by the K-Series Kyle YouTube channel. Go down below and click that subscribe button. If you want to click the like button, go down below and click it. Leave a comment, and if I missed anything, I'm pretty sure I didn't miss anything besides the motor. That's a big missing component. But I'll have a video on that next week or so on installing the motor itself, and then also installing the subframe with the motor. And just waiting on those parts. Tomorrow is going to be a video on the new wheels, the Inkies, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace!